right, the chant. You mentioned Johnny Carson. I actually watched an episode of Johnny Carson from the 1970s with a guy named Bobby Fischer. He was a chess player. Oh, I see some heads nodding. You all know who Bobby Fischer was. Yes. Interesting guy. I mean, born in 1943, died in 2008, was born Jewish, but then became anti-Semitic, misogynist. He was an equal opportunity offender. But he became the world's chess champion by beating a guy named Boris, anybody know?
Karloff?
No.
Kasparov.
Close.
Kasparov?
No, he was Spassky. Boris Spassky, S-P-A-S-K. Probably in Russian you have like 3 Ks, but Spassky. Anyway, so he beat this guy who had been the world champion. The Russians had held the championship in chess for at least 30 years. And this guy, who was a self-proclaimed master, he was a child prodigy, started playing when he was 6 years old. His sister gave him a chessboard. His mom didn't play chess. The sister played with him, but then got bored. And this kid would play on his own for hours and hours and hours at a time. His mom eventually put him into a chess club. By 15, he became the US champion, and in the 1970s became the world champion. Anyway, he had 3 distinct advantages, I think, that we can use in our business. Number 1, he psyched out his opponents. So he set the parameters for video cameras, we're talking about videotaping, set the parameters for how the room was going to be set up. So in other words, he set it up to be advantageous for himself. So that means that there are rules that you can either break or shift in order to be advantageous to you and not to your competitor. Number 2, he had the distinct ability to focus on training. So this guy would read and go over transcripts of the 350 to 400 best world championship games ever played. And he would study these over and over again. The third thing he could do is that he would anticipate moves, sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, and even 20 moves in advance based on what his opponent would do. So how many of us are checkers players when it comes to business? We react or respond. Somebody moves, then we say, oh, we should do this. Or we see a competitor do this, and we say, we want that too, and we'll do that as well. We're playing checkers. Chess players, especially chess champions, have the ability to see into the future based on what the opponent does one time, based on what a client says one time. You can almost predict what's going to happen over a longer period of time. Those of you who've been in business a long time, and all of you are entrepreneurs, you know that there are patterns. And if you don't study these patterns, you're doomed to fail at the same spots that you failed in the past. So if you already know these things take place, why not anticipate them? Why not practice on them? So if you want to become a grandmaster in business and entrepreneurship, go study guys like Bobby Fischer, who became prodigies in their field, and you too can be a world champion in entrepreneurship.